What's up, guys? Here are my predictions for UFC Fight Night happening in Moscow, Russia this Saturday. The card is going to be playing a bit early, especially for the Western Hemisphere, but the card, of course, as you would expect, has a lot of Russian talent, a lot of closely contested fights, as well as a lot of fighters with not that much experience, and we're seeing that a lot in these Fight Night cards. A lot of fighters who just aren't too experienced trying to make a big splash in the UFC, and we're going to start with one of those fights headlining the prelims. Magomedsharipov, I think that's how you pronounce it, versus Dalcha Lungiambula. These guys are just as tough as their names. Both fighters are pretty well rounded, where they can strike just as well as they can grapple. And Magomed is a lot more based on counter-striking, whereas Dalcha has a very explosive blitzing style, and they both like to be patient before they find their openings. So you would think in theory that Magomed's counter-striking is going to be the kryptonite for Dalcha's blitzing style, right? Dalcha likes to sit in place, hand fight with you, make the fight very slow, and then all of a sudden, just like Yoel Romero, he will explode out of nowhere. Dalcha is a very good judo artist, but he's fighting Magomed, who I think has an overall better grappling skill set. He can wrestle better. He has better Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He also has judo capabilities, whereas Dalcha is mainly judo. And because of that, his control on top isn't the strongest. He can get you down pretty quickly, especially when you try to shoot at his hips or drive him into the cage, right? That first initial push on him for the takedown or any clinching exchange, Dalcha has an advantage over almost everybody he's going to be fighting. It's just the control, especially against guys who are bigger than him, who also have a grappling background. It's going to be tough for Dalcha to keep it. But because of that, he relies on his explosiveness when it comes on the feet. He blitzes you down. He usually starts with a big right overhand, then follows up with the left hand and exchanges punches like that. And it can get pretty wild, but it can get overwhelming. And Magomed is not the fastest guy. He always looks for the check left hook, especially when he leans back, and that's a big thing that he does that can get him in the way of the blitz from Dalcha, and that is Magomed leans back at the first initial movement that you give him. And because of that, let's say he leans back and he's trying to go for the counter left hook. That right hand can get right on the inside of the left hook, and then Dalcha's follow-up left hand can potentially catch Magomed as he's already leaning back, putting all the weight on his back foot, so he can't really move anywhere unless he moves his front foot. But doing that gives the opponent enough time to connect and chain their combinations. So that's going to go to my prediction for this fight. I'm going to go with Dalcha Lungiambula, and I think he's going to win by knockout in the third round, just like in his last fight. I think the fight's going to be pretty slow paced. A couple explosions here and there. I think Magomed's going to do a pretty good job of avoiding it, but I can see Magomed slowing down just a little bit as the fight goes on, trying to attempt things, trying to take down Dalcha, but seeing that it's not going to be working that well, trying to land his own punches, but they're going to get defended. Dalcha has a very good ability to leave his hands out there and parry and block shots to come in his way, and even if it gets to the ground, I think Dalcha's going to be a little bit stronger or more explosive with that judo background and reverse what Magomed's trying to do out there. And then we go to the co-main event. Alexander Volkov versus Greg Hardy. And yes, this fight's actually happening. People are still in disbelief. Greg Hardy, one of the most inexperienced fighters in the UFC right now, coming from an entirely different sport, 7 fights professionally, is going to be fighting one of the top contenders in the heavyweight division who has fought some great heavyweight veterans, fighters throughout the world. 30-7, Alexander Volkov. Now, right off the bat, I would have to say Volkov has the advantage in every aspect of MMA, from boxing to kicks to grappling to wrestling to the clinch game, everything involved. I just have to say that Greg Hardy might be more powerful. He's faster to close distance with his feet, and I think he's just overall more explosive, and that's pretty much it. He doesn't have the cardio that Volkov has. I mean, they did Greg Hardy a service by making this 3 rounds and didn't make it a main event, because we all know how that fight would go. Not just an inhaler, he would need an oxygen tank. But what else can you really say? The only chance Greg Hardy has here is the heavyweight phenomenon, and that is anyone can get knocked out any given moment. The power is so magnified from the other weight classes, and the chins don't get much better as the weight classes go up. Knockouts happen so often, right? And Alexander Volkov has been in a position where he was dominating a fight and he gets knocked out. That was against Derek Lewis in his very last loss. Yes, Alexander Volkov has not fought since his loss to Derek Lewis, and he did take a lot of time off, which is a very good thing. That's the only way I can see Greg Hardy winning this. He gets tagged, he's getting hurt, he probably shows heart out there, and Alexander Volkov stays in the pocket too long, or he makes some drastic error, and Greg Hardy capitalizes with his explosiveness and just lands one big bomb and puts down Volkov. Literally the only thing I can see beating Volkov. Puncher's chance. And the puncher's chance of the heavyweight division is far higher than any other weight class. So Greg Hardy, yes, he's getting better. Yes, he's a prospect. Yes, he's moving around better than before, but he keeps his chin very high up. He throws his punches under his chin, and Volkov, who's taller than him, has that chin under his scopes at the higher elevation and just snipes at him, right? And the legs of Volkov is absolutely insane when it comes to his reach. 47.5 inches. I believe that's the longest in the UFC, right? So those kicks are going to be coming at the body, destroy the cardio, make the chin open even more, and that is something Greg Hardy's never even come close to fighting at this sort of level. I mean, Volkov going to be working his body, his legs, open up the head. Greg Hardy is very used to just guys swinging at his head. This higher level of striking, changing the targets, different angles, far and close distance, setting traps, all this sort of stuff that Volkov does to everybody else. This is far beyond Greg Hardy's readiness, right? He didn't prepare for something like this. So my prediction for this fight, I think Volkov should dominate. The only thing is the puncher's chance. That's the only thing going for Greg Hardy. And I think Volkov is going to knock him out in, I'll give him the second round. I'll give Greg Hardy the benefit of the doubt. Logically, I would say first round, but I'll just give Greg Hardy the benefit of the doubt here, surviving the first. And then we go to the main event, and by far the best fight in this entire card, Zabit Magomedsharipov versus Calvin Kattar. A fight to determine who will be one of the next top contenders. And the winner of this fight, I would say, is one fight away from getting a title shot. Seeing as Max Holloway's kind of cleaning out the division, and fighters are leaving the division and all sort of stuff, there's a lot of space at the top now. But this fight is super exciting. The boxing is going to be the most interesting thing, where Calvin Kattar might be the best boxer in this division. And he's a tall, long fighter as well. Nearly the same height as Zabit, nearly the same reach as well. And Zabit's a great boxer in his own right. He has a laser jab, very well-timed left hook moving backwards, especially using that reach of his, very precise straight right hand. And Calvin Kattar has the exact same weapons as well. He has a laser jab, he has a devastating left hook, but he uses it a lot better to set up his punches, especially that right hand of his. And his right hand is super powerful as well as precise. He has a good uppercut moving backwards and moving forward. His boxing in general, I would say, is better than Zabit's, because he has everything that Zabit has, but there's something Zabit doesn't have, and that is Calvin Kattar's power. Zabit, yes, he's flashy, explosive, he's so fast, and he knows when to time his shots. He just doesn't have the power to knock opponents out with one shot, like Calvin Kattar does. Calvin Kattar broke Ricardo Lamas' jaw with a straight right hand. He TKO'd Shane Burgos, starting with an uppercut, and Shane Burgos is one of the better boxers in this division as well. Tall and long fighter, and frankly, Zabit was fighting pretty tall guys as well. You know, his first fight was against a 6-foot fighter. His fight against Brandon Davis, who's also tall and long. Both of these guys have the benefit of fighting longer and taller fighters, which a lot of fighters actually don't have in this division. So I don't think the reach of each other is going to be much of a problem. It might be more of a problem for Zabit because he is one of the tallest guys in this division. He relies a lot on that reach. He likes to post a lot. He does a lot what John Jones does and Khabib, post and retreat, left hand on the shoulder or on the head as he's moving away, and keeps that right hand up. But when a fighter can potentially land at the same time with the striking and the precision that Calvin Kattar has with that reach, that's going to be a little bit different, because Zabit fought Brandon Davis. He fought Mike Santiago, and those guys do not have the striking prowess of Calvin Kattar, and they're not nearly as dangerous. And Kattar does have decent kicks offensively, but here's the big thing. Zabit has really good leg kicks, and that is Calvin Kattar's Achilles heel. At least it was shown to be when he fought Renato Moicano, and even Ricardo Lamas slammed his leg a couple times. Zabit can attack from a very far range with that leg. He can throw side kicks as well to keep Calvin Kattar away, because Kattar is going to have to be the one that's going to move in on Zabit just a little bit, but the side kicks are going to be in the way. The knees, the flying knees, the spinning kicks, all that stuff are going to be in the way, and that's something else that Calvin Kattar's never fought against before. And the biggest thing is the grappling and wrestling advantage. Zabit is a much better grappler and a much better wrestler than Calvin Kattar is, and frankly, as great as a striker Zabit is, I think he's actually a better grappler, right? His trips in the clinch, his double leg, his ability to shoot out of nowhere. He goes from 6'1" to 3 feet very quickly, and with everything in his toolbox, he makes everything work and blend very well. It's hard to see what he's trying to do out there when he's attacking the opponent. The biggest Achilles heel for Zabit, though, is the cardio, but it's a 3-round fight. If this was 5 rounds, Calvin Kattar may be even a favorite when it comes to the hardcore fans. You know, a lot of people would think that Calvin Kattar has a big shot of beating Zabit, but it's 3 rounds. Zabit can hit the gas a lot more in this kind of fight. It'll be harder for Calvin Kattar to find some opening for himself to be effective. So my prediction for this fight, I'm going to go with Zabit Magomedsharipov. I think he's going to win by a decision. I think Calvin Kattar has a really good chin. He's shown that against Shane Burgos. He has heart. He has a willingness to trade with the opponent. Technically, though, not just swing wildly until something lands like Jeremy Stevens does or something like that. His technical brawling is precise and dangerous, right? You don't want to be in the pocket too long with Calvin Kattar, especially for Zabit, who's trying to get in and get out, throw a punch, throw a kick, something like that. And Kattar is just a little bit too one-dimensional at this stage of the game. Great boxing, decent takedown defense, decent ability to scramble to get back to his feet, but that's pretty much it, right? The boxing's the biggest thing that Zabit has to worry about, and I think with a great coach behind him in Mark Henry, with all the skills that he brings into a fight, with the fight only being 3 rounds, allowing him to get creative out there. I think there's going to be way too many smoke screens for Zabit to get comfortable and set up combinations as well as traps at the same time, which Calvin Kattar may fall into, and switching the targets from leg kicks, side kicks to the body, potentially left hooks to the body, countering going backwards, which is going to relieve Zabit from the boxing firepower that Calvin Kattar holds, as well as countering with the wrestling, or pressuring off his boxing, going for the legs, going for the hips, take it to the ground, finding the submission, something like that. Zabit has many ways to win this fight, but I think he's going to win by a decision. I think Kattar's going to be on the defensive. I think Kattar's either going to try to catch Zabit in the early parts of the fight or at the late parts of the fight. He might coast for that first round, allowing Zabit to throw everything out the window, and then catch a tired Zabit in the third round and really push on the gas. Or he possibly could be starting very hard, anticipating Zabit being patient and saving his cardio until the late parts of the fight. And again, a lot of close fights on this card, man. And with close fights comes close betting odds. I do think the Yakovlev versus Roberts fight is almost dead even though they're pretty similar in their stature and the way they strike and the way they grapple and stuff like that. I think Yakovlev's experience might be the deciding factor in that kind of fight. You saw that in his last fight as well. Really dug in deep in his last one and found a way to finish. I do think the Khabibov-Kondazko fight can be a bit misleading. Khabibov has been doing really well, but his fights are so close. He really tries a point fight with his opponents, but Sergey is pretty explosive. He is pretty dangerous. He's moving down from welterweight, and I think he had a new stride in his career. And very similar to the Yakovlev fight, I think Ed Herman's experience will be the deciding factor in that fight with Ibragimov. I would not say Zabit's that big of a favorite. I know he has a lot of hype, but Calvin Kattar could definitely find a way to catch Zabit. Zabit has an iron chin, but Calvin Kattar potentially could put punches together and hurt Zabit over and over again. But it has to be a perfect game plan, a perfect fight for Calvin Kattar. So I hope you guys enjoyed the predictions. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed my content, make sure to subscribe. My podcast is going to come up by tomorrow, and be looking for that. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.